welcome back to Otaku Tuesday.
Hi.
I'm V.
I'm not.
You E.
I'm E-Man.
I'm not going to call you that. I'm sorry. I mean, I guess I will if you really want me to.
E-Man.
It would be hypocritical for me not. But I feel like you might want to rethink that. But this is the fruits. It's the fruits.
It is
It's
the
the
fruits.
fruits of
It's actually
Grisaia.
the fruit.
I know, but it's the fruits.
It is the fruits because we
call
played
this-
it more than once.
We call this the fruits.
The fruits of Grisaia.
I gotta adjust my microphone. Sorry if it makes noise.
I adjust many a times throughout our 90 minutes.
I do too, because I shift a lot.
Yeah.
Like I move around. I try
like-
to sit up straight so I don't hurt my back.
Yeah. I like to move and shake a.
Yeah. My back starts to hurt if I sit wrong for too long, because I'm old and oddly shaped.
So last time we didn't really accomplish much.
We
we-
decided we're gonna teach what's her face how to
Yeah.
ride a bike.
Right, we're really in on being her papa now.
Yeah, and we learned about her dad.
Yeah, we actually accomplished a lot. I
Yeah.
just feel like we didn't progress very far
Your brain just couldn't process it because you were out of breath the whole time.
time-wise. I did. I talked a lot.
Yeah, that's gonna be this whole route.
It is going to be
It's
this whole
all
route.
you.
But we're about to have some silly shenanigans, so...
I'm sure. I mean, I assume this is the bike thing, but I could be wrong.
On the way back from my morning run, I hear a cuckoo singing in our courtyard. I've just hit my stopwatch when that simple but magnificent call seizes my attention. Keeping very still, I scan the nearby trees in an attempt to find the bird, but he proves highly elusive.
Is this darker?
Yeah. I can hear his voice clearly enough, but I think it's
Okay,
monologue.
it's supposed to be. Yeah, okay.
Vignette. I can't even catch a glimpse of the animal itself. Quite an impressive little ambush. This actually isn't the first time something like this has happened to me. I think it was on the way back from a class outing at my previous school. We're already having a flashback. We haven't even started the scene.
Right?
We'd been squeezed tightly onto hard benches in the canopied bed of the truck for hours, barely able to fidget without wedging an elbow in someone's gut. My ass was starting to scream.
Okay.
Finally, someone shouted out, "Situation gas!"
situation, yeah.
Taking a bathroom break at this big rest stop at the foot of the mountain, and the truck slowed to a halt. Eagerly leaping out to escape the stinking heat, I stretched my legs for the first time in hours, and then set out for a water fountain to refill the canteen hanging at my waist. Halfway there, I heard the cuckoo. I carefully looked through the trees above for a nest, but couldn't find anything for the longest damn time. Just when I was about ready to give up, I made an anticlimactic discovery: a small speaker. The thing was fixed with wire onto the branch of a nearby tree. The bird song I'd been hearing was nothing but a recording. I remember dropping my shoulders in disappointment and smiling wryly. But just as I'm starting to wonder if something similar might be going on here, I finally pick out a single songbird high up in the branches of a tree on the edge of the courtyard. I actually sigh with relief. The real deal this time, huh? With the authenticity of the song resolved, I just stand there listening for a while. This bird has one hell of a powerful voice. Feels like my soul's being washed clean. The light sense of fatigue I've built up in my mini marathon seems to vanish just like that, chased off by the invigorating little song. Usually that's just a clock on the wall.
Yeah, I was gonna say that your cuckoo noise is not like really a song. It's just like doot 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 doot.
But it's the beginning of do 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 do.
I don't know what that
Do
is.
do do do. Just the song is that clock. A lot of clock towers make that sound.
I guess they do. I never really put that together with like a cuckoo clock. Like you
Yeah,
picture a cuckoo clock and it's just like the little bird comes out and it's like boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop, boop, and then it's just done. Yeah.
But despite this refreshing start to the morning, things quickly take a sour turn. I return to my room only to find Suo Amane holding her sides and guffawing loudly as Irisu Makina waves her stumpy little fists indignantly in the air.
It's really hard to laugh when you can't put noise behind it.
I like when the clock goes cuckoo. This ain't no laughing matter, punk. What? You're still angry, Makina? Okay, yeah, sure. I'm the one who asked you to teach me how to ride a bike. I concede the point. But here's the thing. What kind of jerk comes up behind a girl who's on a bike for the first time in her life and gives her a giant shove out of nowhere? When you're teaching someone to ride a bike, I think helping out with a shove on the saddle is actually perfectly normal. Oh, yeah, sure. The method wasn't wrong, but you see, I'm asking whether you might have made a teensy mistake in how hard you pushed me. Okay? Why did you have to shove me so friggin' hard? I figured a decent initial velocity would help prevent a gyroscopic... Shut the fuck up!
You fucking nerd!
Make it easier to keep your balance. That doesn't mean you gotta launch me into next week!
And then what? She crashed right into a tree, I hear?
No, I crashed right into you! I told the girl to brake. Not my fault she didn't listen. I braked! I braked like crazy! I was braking so hard you didn't even know!
Breaking too! Electric boogaloo!
But I was on gravel, you know. Even when I was braking, I just kept swooshing along. And then, bam, crunch.
Oops, all berries.
I braked. But that wasn't enough for him. The guy says we're practicing again, points me somewhere else, and gives me another friggin' shove.
Right into that sand pit in the courtyard. Front wheel sinks right in, launching her face first into the ground.
Who are we having this conversation for? And that's not all. Guy comes running up to me saying, one more time, forces me kicking and screaming back onto the bike, and before I know it, I'm swooshing off again.
What was it again? This time she plunges down a flight of stairs, straddling the seat the whole way down.
We're not shooting a damn Hong Kong action flick here. Are you trying to kill me, or what? Herm.
Early one.
You know, you look just like Amine when you flip out like this.
Oh, you think? Here, I'll get angry. Try comparing. I mean, look, weren't you a little harsh on her? The girl's a total beginner. Maybe it's all fun and games for you, but what if Makina had gotten hurt?
She had protectors on her knees and elbows and a helmet covering her head. Not a problem.
But, come on. You could have, I don't know, let her practice with training wheels or something.
I hurt my spleen! What's the point of training if you're going to gift wrap positive results and remove risk from the equation entirely?
That's what training is.
Roll through life like that and you'll just freeze up in panic when you face a real crisis. Better to acquire the ability to see danger coming ahead of time through painful experience, don't you think?
I know for a fact that there's gorillas that ride bicycles around here.
Mm-hmm.
Very dangerous. You need to be ready.
Better get trained up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you put it that way, I mean, improving through falling off is pretty much the way it goes with two-wheeled vehicles. I mean, I don't think you'd have to go that far just to teach her how to ride normally, but...
Amine, you have a second?
No. What's up?
Just come with me, alright? Papa? You just wait there for a minute, Makina. We'll be back soon. Okay. Are you gonna make me a sister? Amine, my friend, there's something I need to clarify. You to clarify for me.
Mickey, my friend? Jeez, what?
The other day, you said you were going to become Makina's mother, right? Were you serious about that?
Huh? What? Sorry, what do you mean?
I want to ask you to marry me. I want to ask you to play that role.
Well, I'm okay with that, but...
In that case, when you disagree with me, stick to your opinion. Don't let me talk you out of it.
Sorry, I really don't follow. Can you explain? Well, obviously, when married couples are supposed to hate each other. Because that's what marriage is. Ha ha, so funny. I hate my wife. Ha ha.
I want to make Makina decide which of our opinions are correct for herself.
So that's what this is about.
When you raise a kid by spoon-feeding them the right answer to every problem, they end up narrow-minded and inflexible.
Is that what happened to you?
When their parents disagree, children learn to think about who's correct on their own, right?
No, they just pick their favorite. Now I get it. You really are thinking this over, huh? So then, were you being mean to Makina so you could...
No, not really. It was just gut-bustingly hilarious watching her thrash around like that.
You're awful.
Well, if I'm that terrible a father, you'd better shoot down everything I have to say. Got it? Ha!
Yeah, I got it. But
This is great.
you're just gonna beat me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens in a marriage.
Are you okay?
Sorry, Makina, but I have no intention of changing my instructional methods. Training to deal with all sorts of dangers is valuable experience that'll help to protect yourself going forward.
Don't do it, Makina. What if you end up getting hurt? You're a girl, okay? It's only a bike. You should just learn to ride it like anyone else.
Makina, don't take riding a bicycle lightly. They're not toys, you know. Even a little bike like that is a light vehicle in the eyes of the law.
I don't know. I mean, it's not technically in the toy section of Walmart, but they're like right next
It's
to
next to it,
it.
yeah. Falling off and scraping your knees is one thing, but when you're sharing the road with others, your clumsiness might end up getting someone else hurt. Above average skill in controlling a vehicle is never a bad thing to have.
Ugh, crap, I actually completely agree with that. But hey, it's not like you really have to force yourself to learn how to ride in the first place.
If only we had kept control of that bus.
You've gotten by just fine this far without a bicycle, right? Seems to me that means you'll be okay staying that way. I mean, if you want to go somewhere, I'll drive or bike you over anytime, you know? I'll just put you in the basket.
Amane, my friend. Depriving the girl of the freedom that comes with riding a bicycle is downright tyrannical and short-sighted. Makina's got a long life ahead of her, and nobody could say how it's going to play out. What if someone with a gun comes up and says, "Ride this bike"?
So by forcing me to disagree with you, you just want me to be the bad guy. That's what this is about. It's kind of bullshit.
You got it. Now clean the dishes. For all we know, the girl might one day encounter a situation where her ability to ride a bicycle proves the difference between life and death.
That's true. The route to this school is over a high wire over gator-infested waters.
It's like the people that say you need to learn stick shift.
Yeah,
No, you do not.
you know, not. I mean, unless you have a very specific career path anymore.
Right. But that's what I always got, was like, what if
You should know.
what if it's an emergency and the person has a stick shift car?
Well, then I guess they're fucked.
Good. I'll call an ambulance.
Yeah.
What kind of situation
Wait,
is
this is
What? Oh.
What kind of situation?
okay. Get off my shit, man.
What kind of situation that's supposed to be? Look, I'm just worried that Makina's gonna get injured for no reason, okay? If she's gonna get injured, there better be a good reason for it.
Sometimes an injury today saves your life 10 years down the line. Tell me, Makina, which opinion sounds correct to you?
Well, it's been 10 years since I broke both my arms, and I don't think that's ever come into play.
I kind of feel like Papa's right about this one, but I'm not so crazy about inflicting more pain on myself. That doesn't count, don't you?
It's like she did a and then realized that she's supposed to throw an R in there.
That doesn't count, though.
Okay then, want me to teach you instead? I mean, I've got a light motorcycle license, and I'm a pretty good teacher, you know? I say good girl a lot.
Oh! Now that you mention it, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Not to boast, but I've got a license that's valid for anything on two wheels. Naturally, I picked up the Moss as well. Moss? It's a qualification you need to use motorbikes at my job as a janitor. They don't hand it out to just anybody either. The skill standard is a lot higher.
I could even janitorize a hockey rink. I got a gazebo license. Or wait, not gazebo.
Zamboni.
Zamboni. I mean, I know what they're called.
I'm gonna drive this gazebo right off the
I'm a
rails.
gazebo driver.
Okay. Does that really matter for teaching someone to ride a bicycle? Kind of overkill, don't you think?
Didn't I just say not to take riding bicycles lightly? When you're operating a vehicle that poses potential risks not just to yourself, but also to others, you should damn well know what you're doing.
It's a fucking bike.
Don't fight, guys! Okay, Makina, what's it gonna be? You can learn from me or from Amane. It's your call. Why don't you just, work together? Can't I learn from both of you?
Why do all my parents separate? It must be my fault.
That's a good thought. For starters, I can teach you the basics around the school, and then Yuji can throw you in downstairs and stuff. And then Yuji can
Yeah.
train you on the road. How's that
Because that
sound?
helps you, I guess? Herm. True enough, there's no need to restrict the girl to a single instructor. Helps provide a more balanced perspective, after all.
I guess neither of us should be single then. Wink.
Sounds good to me, but are you sure about this, Amine?
Fine by me. I mean, summer vacation starts tomorrow, apparently. So I'm gonna have too much time on my hands anyway.
It's already that time of year, huh?
Yeah, you would know that if you went to class ever.
Might come as a bit of a surprise, but my employer is an absolute stickler on the principle of academic achievement. Practically everyone looking to move up the ranks uses their off time to cram for exams. And in the case of employees who are assigned to special posts, such as myself, anyone who hopes to get promoted isn't just studying, but also working to gain recognition for their physical prowess. In addition to the daily exercise routine, your days off are typically spent on special training regimens. Every spare minute you have is devoted to forging your body and mind. The rest of your time goes to eating, sleeping, and very little else.
The weird cutoff it does sometimes.
To me, summer vacation is nothing more than one very long independent study period.
Fun.
Well then, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. I have your report cards.
In a somewhat theatrical gesture as she stands like Sonic the Hedgehog on the cover of Sonic the Hedgehog 1, the principal taps a stack of thick, neatly folded paper against her lectern to align the edges, then surveys the classroom with a big smile plastered on her face.
So, my marker ran out of ink, and I ran out of star stickers, so I hope you guys liked My Hero Academia.
Ooh, yay! As she calls out our names one by one, everyone comes to the platform in turn and accepts their card respectfully. But there's quite a range of expressions on our faces as we do so.
I still exist.
Yeah. Where have you been? Spaghetti Monster takes her card indifferently, apparently either unconcerned or just uninterested. Amine receives hers with a vaguely apprehensive expression, her brow slightly furrowed. Michiru, not even attempting to hide her revulsion, grimaces as though she's just had a slimy snake dropped in her hand.
Oh, sorry, I gave you my snake.
Makina grins from ear to ear like an undernourished child taking chocolate from a GI in a Jeep. She's half of that.
Yeah.
Sachi bows deeply, strongly resembling a white-collar worker accepting a business card from the chief executive of a major client. And finally, I gotta figure out what face I'm gonna make. I take mine with, let's see, the studied nonchalance of a grunt taking his new posting for the latter half of his term from the division commander.
The coolest way of all of us.
Yeah. I hope that came across.
Yeah, are they looking? They're not looking.
But when you get a report card handed to you, it's only human to be curious about the contents, and we look over our evaluations. There's another wave of varied reactions around the classroom. I'll describe them.
Samurai Jack.
Glances over her report card without so much as twitching an eyebrow. Looks as though the results are exactly what she anticipated. Straight F's. Apparently something in Amine is hit a little too close to home, judging from her wry smile and the way she's playing with her hair.
Mine just says fat bitch.
Oh, God.
Bleh.
That wasn't her voice.
I know, I couldn't remember, and it's only a noise, so...
Bleh.
A hard indigestible chunk of pitiless reality forced down her throat. Michiru does her best to fight back a rising tide of gastric juices. No! No way! It's just
But
a
in-
sound she plays on her phone.
Yeah, I think it was in English.
Probably, yeah. Her euphoria of only a few moments ago are completely gone. Makina scowls at her card and mumbles, "Seriously, man?" in a deploring tone of voice.
The fuck is this? Nee.
Clearly finding the results she wanted inside, Sachi nods deeply in silence, then softly claps her hands together in a round of applause for herself.
Oh, Chizuru's nudes are in here. Oh, fuck.
As for my report card on the 5-letter scale from A to F, I'm almost entirely in the B range. The only exceptions are 2 A's in physical fitness and science and 2 C's in social etiquette and personal conduct.
Does Japan use the A to F system? I feel like a lot of places don't.
think so.
Do they?
In anime and stuff, they always have A's and F's on their
cards,
so I would assume. I don't know. I'm initially a little nonplussed at that mediocre personal conduct grade, given that I don't smoke, gamble, or drink. But after reading the brief comment scribbled in red pen, to wit, the heroic act is nice, but if you're not careful, your treatment of the opposite sex is going to cause you a lot of grief. I have to admit, I more or less understand where they're coming from, but I feel like that one is kind of personal.
Yeah, it just feels like the principal's jealous, honestly.
Mm-hmm. In fact, this isn't the first time I've been written up for problematic habits regarding women.
Oh my god, you drop your pants in the women's room one time.
And suddenly HR is breathing down your neck.
Yeah, I mean, god. I had an itch, and the only way to scratch it was back and forth.
My employer routinely has superiors put together departmental evaluations, commonly used as references for your next posting or attempts at career advancement. They're pretty thorough documents running through your academic progress and personal conduct, covering the results of all sorts of inspections and opinions of your overall suitability as an employee. But when the superior writing the report happened to be a female, let alone Jib, there would always be at least one angry scribble to the effect of serious issues with women, invariably punctuated with an exclamation mark. But then they dotted it with a heart, so
Yeah.
that was just all sorts of mixed signals.
Are they flirting? Do they like me?
I mean, it's not like I'm a playboy or a misogynist. If anything, my coworkers ridiculed me as an introvert, and I always endeavor to be considerate towards women, but for some reason my attitude seemed to be frequently
Misinterpreted.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's not me. I am a nice guy. It's just the fact that girls always go for the asshole, so they're bitches because they don't want my penis.
All right, this concludes our lessons for the first semester. I imagine some of you will be returning home over the summer, while others will remain, probably the main characters of this route. But regardless, I'd like to ask you to set concrete personal objectives to make good use of your time. Class representative, if you would. Stand.
There aren't other students here, right?
Nope.
Okay.
There's like
Sometimes
no one
it
else
seems
here.
like there are.
Yeah, they're going
But,
through
like-
the motions of there being other students,
But
just for like normalcy.
Yeah, I guess.
Because they all know they're there because they're weird.
Right. I was going to say, because at the beginning it was established that it was just these 6.
Yes.
Okay. At Sachi's ceremonial command, everyone stands up at once. At the bow command, we all lower our heads and shout, thank you very much. Or arigato gozaimasu.
Yo, Mr. Roboto.
The principal offers us a nod and a brief, yes, I'll see you next semester, and then leaves the classroom.
Yeah, whatever.
I thought this... Give me my nudes, I'm out of here. I thought this sort of bowing and scraping was an elementary and middle school thing. I guess our attitude towards learning is a little different here. Or maybe the ceremony itself carried a different nuance at my old schools. Hey, Papa, look at my report card! Herm, let's see here.
Damn it, I should have left the nudes in there.
Smiling from ear to ear, Makina thrusts her report card in my face as if to smash it against my nose. Ah, she smashed it against my nose. I pull my head back so I can actually get a look. Makina's
Like a boomer looking at a meme on your phone.
Makina's card consists of a large...
You know, like, the glasses go down to the bridge of their nose,
Yeah.
and they kind of pull the phone as far away as possible.
A large border with a vivid red cherry blossom design framing the words, let's try a little harder in huge bold letters. Underneath that stamp, there's a brief comment that seems to have been written by the principal herself. Receptivity to the influence of others is proof of a curious mind, but please make an effort to acquire a little more common sense. Start by working on your manner of speaking. So I'm not the only one who earned an exclamation mark. Whew.
Yeah, definitely jealous.
Oh, isn't this something? Makina's bizarre mode of speech isn't anything new, but the principal has a point. It's not going to fly if the girl goes out into the world and tries to get a job and try it in riding a bike. That's not the only problem. Just from my casual observations, her handwriting's sloppy and she's terrible with her chopsticks. In many small but
Plus, her nose is weird.
significant ways, she's lacking in the skills expected of a normal member of society. I mean, we are in this school. But acquiring common sense is easier said than done when you're spending all your time in an isolated school like this. Thank you. Common sense and the lack thereof are concepts that exist only in relation to your environment. What's she supposed to learn from a guy with a C in social etiquette? God.
I don't. My curtsy's so sloppy.
That said, looking around the room, I can't find a single person who doesn't exhibit a severe lack of common sense. I think I'm developing a stomachache.
Excuse me? I can't let you get away with that one. For what it's worth, I am widely regarded as Mihama Academy's queen of common sense.
I already told you I'm not calling you that.
Too bad.
Are you sure about that?
It's because you don't have any common sense. You have something to say?
Let me pose you a hypothetical question. If Makina were to go out into the world and conduct herself just as you have, what would people think of her?
Probably not great. I get away with a lot because of my boobs.
For example, if they observed Makina declaring her love at first sight for some man she didn't even know, then proceeding to rub her chest against him while snorting roughly through her nose, would they accept it as normal?
I mean,
But they'd like it.
This is anime, so maybe. Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure they'd pin her as a horny, slightly dim-witted Lolita type. And while this might very well meet with the enthusiastic, tearful approval of a certain minority given to particular tastes,
probably a majority with this audience, honestly.
could you really call any society that accepts such a viewpoint as common sense anything but pathologically abnormal?
that's definitely a little, well...
You know, Amane, my friend.
I'ma name my friend.
It's extremely easy to delude ourselves into believing we possess this common sense and everyone else doesn't. But remember, no one shouts, "I don't get drunk," quite so confidently as an alcoholic. For example, while I'm currently talking down to you like my shit don't stink, I have shit myself. Smells awful.
You just really wanted to talk about poop again.
Situation, gas.
I'll get the wet wipes.
Objective. That's Sachi's job.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Get the bedpan.
She's got her special made uniform for that situation.
Mm-hmm. Please wear gloves this time.
They don't come with any.
On objective examination, I'm forced to admit that I have no right whatsoever to lecture anyone about common sense. I mean, after all, I got a C in social etiquette. I'm fucking dumb.
I'm so stupidly average.
Nah, I don't really get it, but for the moment, I'm freaking hungry. So why don't we go get some nuggies? Why don't we finish this discussion while lunching it up?
A desk cushion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, putting aside common sense and all that, I think their first order of business has to be doing something about the way she talks.
Oh no, are we gonna lose her stupid way of talking?
I'm with you there.
Are we about to My Fair Lady Makina?
Yeah, we're gonna send her through like rigorous etiquette tests.
Yeah.
Japanese is an unusually difficult language, or if you prefer, a tongue uniquely rich in expressive power.
That's on my Tinder profile.
And spending a lot of time overseas as a child can leave you thinking in a foreign language. Even when speaking Japanese, you end up translating foreign words in your head on the fly as you talk, a process that supposedly makes it very easy to badly mangle your syntax and grammar. But still.
I don't know. I've heard that a lot of like Japanese stuff has like integrated English into it now.
Yeah, there's a lot of English.
Like if you're, like if, this might have been Game Grumps. Like if you're ordering like milk tea, you don't say the Japanese words for milk and tea or the Japanese word for milk tea. Like you don't use
right.
those terms. You say milk tea.
Yeah.
And then they'll know better.
Yeah.
Like they'll understand it. It's like, wait a second. That sounds racist.
The bad boy, the vinegar. When you're this far gone, I sort of feel like the language you're thinking in may not be the fundamental issue.
Okay, yes, I think the vinegar's learned its lesson. Now stop dumping the dressing all over your salad. You're making it into a slushy mess.
From time immemorial, it's been said that an army marches on its stomach, or more to the point, first feed the face, then talk right and wrong. Accordingly, we decided to sate Makina's hunger before attempting to preach about decorum and such, and spread out our lunchboxes on the roof together. Having set the stage, I was just wondering how to broach our subject when Amane homemade apple vinegar dressing suffered Makina's bad boy vinegar explosion.
That's her fucking finishing move.
knocked off track before we could even begin. Amane and I glance at each other and have quiet but heartfelt sighs.
Oh, that's our daughter.
So are we dating or?
Yeah, I don't understand. This is getting confusing.
Should be easy enough to understand the full force of this girl's destructive power from the fact that neither of us can work up enough energy to retort. Are you the balsamic boogeyman now?
Yeah, because we're not lame.
Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe that's how she likes her salads. I mean, we had someone at our school who, instead of spaghetti sauce, used ranch.
That was me.
It was you? No,
Yeah.
there was someone else.
Okay, I did. I used to do that.
Oh, okay,
Like
yeah.
a long
I
time
can't-
ago.
Oh man,
Yeah, I used to do that because I hated spaghetti sauce.
I love.
Well, it was,
maybe
it was
maybe
a
it was you
situation-
then. But
I remember doing it. I probably did it more than once, but it was always when we didn't have Alfredo sauce.
Okay.
Because it was like I hated red sauce.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Now I love it. I mean, I
Right.
make my own now, so maybe that's the difference.
I'm just saying, people have weird food tendencies.
Yeah.
Maybe she likes to drown her salads.
The only dressing I like now on salad is Caesar.
See, and that's like one of the only ones I don't care for.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
I always,
Salty and it's delicious.
I usually always get Italian, but I also like French.
French isn't bad, but I put like French on like pizza.
Pizza, yeah.
Yeah.
And branch, of course. Hey, Amane. Maybe we should just forget common sense entirely and focus on teaching the girl proper Japanese.
I mean, it's been bugging me for a long time too, you know? I tried correcting Makina every time she said something weird, but it just didn't seem to help.
Why don't you guys just embrace it and I'm just quirky. Fuck. You're rude people. I can totally speak all polite, formal if the mood strikes me, you know? Oh, first I've heard of it. All right then. Kindly demonstrate your best polite conversation.
She just starts speaking in a British accent.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that.
In that voice, probably that'd be pretty hard.
I'm very sorry, but your request isn't particularly clear. What?
What exactly would you like to discuss there?
Now I can't get her voice back. Yeah, I'm sorry, but your request isn't particularly clear. What exactly would you like to discuss, sir?
Oh, that sounded sort of convincing.
See, I told you I'm just quirky and I like it. Fuck off. I know, right? Talking formal ain't no thing but a chicken wang. Just gotta imitate Sachin. Am I right? That sure didn't last long. What happened to the polite language, Makina? You told me to give you a demonstration. I didn't say I was changing my entire way of life. I do apologize. I've rather embarrassed myself. Well then, I have a touch of the vapors. What shall the topic of our discussion be?
Well, whatever pops into your head should be fine, I guess.
So there I was, watching Tuna Fish Man. Whatever pops into my head, is it? Well then, let me see. I have a story to share from just last night. I was drifting off to sleep in my bed, but a mosquito bit my arm in this vicinity, and the itchiness grew quite unbearable. But this is taking all of my effort.
Yeah.
But if I were to scratch away at it, I knew that Amane-san would scold me and insist that I was only making things worse. So instead, I pressed down quietly with my thumbnail several times, forming an X over the bite.
It's like, it's something that like actual professional impressionists, some of them like have trouble with, is do an impression of someone doing an impression.
Yeah. At this point, I was struck by a flash of insight, overlaying my initial X with a second. I found an asterisk. I was so proud of myself, I couldn't help but shout,
Barry Bonds!
"Asshole!" And at that point, Amane-san came over with quite the fierce scowl on her face, and proceeded to beat me about the head. What an unspeakable savage woman, don't you think? Whatever shall I do with her?
Maybe kiss?
Hey, Amane. What have I created?
Yes.
I'm starting to think this girl's issues might go deeper than her language skills.
Goodness, what a coincidence. I was just thinking the exact same thing.
You guys just don't appreciate me. Fuck you, I'm out of here.
Why don't you just go marry each other?
In the first place, if that's really supposed to be an imitation of Sachi, you're completely off base.
Yeah, where's the southern accent?
Put on the outfit. No, okay
You
then.
say the same thing to me every time I walk in here.
I'll try getting it in. I'll try getting it a little closer.
I talk about putting on a maid outfit, and you say getting it in. I'm gonna sit further away from you for a while.
Hold on, I'm getting it in.
I'm taking a drink. Thank God. No, you weren't. Okay. Oh God. Okay, I'm better now. Oh, my eyes are watering. This isn't helping our case.
Good morning to you both. I am Sochi. I definitely can't do Southern in that voice.
Yeah.
So similar. Oh, so similar. Wait, what the hell? Is that her? Oh, to be frank, I've grown rather sick of Michiru-sama's nonsense. Every day I think to myself, if only that girl would hang herself with an udon noodle and die.
Should I just do the voice while she's doing the voice?
Yeah. Holy shit, you're really good at that.
That's dead on.
Definitely sounds like her, but that's awful. By the way, I can imitate Chiru. No, please don't. Okay, let's see it. Yuji, help, it's a disaster. What's wrong, Michiru? My stomach was really hurting this morning, so I went to the bathroom. You're not gonna believe this, but my vagina was bleeding, and it just won't stop. Am I gonna die?
God, that sounds just like her. She says that all the time.
Crap. Not only does she have the voice down cold, that sounds like a line the girl might say.
No, I think you're being a little too harsh on Michiru there. Any way you look at it.
They look off to the side, and she's just running through the fields. Okay then. That's just very awkward timing. What else have you got?
It's not really that awkward timing. It's Ford. She does this every day.
That's... Oh my god. It is the voice.
Yeah.
She can imitate people.
Yeah.
Why exactly do I have to participate in this nonsense? Exactly.
It's Space Case.
How utterly ridiculous. You really are a worthless human being, aren't you? It's perfectly obvious that your continued existence will only bring further misery to everyone involved. Kindly bite your belly button and die.
She just pulls out a box knife. How the fuck?
She's even got props. What is this? Absurd talent. You're amazing, Makina. Forget the bike.
We're gonna start a
Stage
prank call.
show.
We're gonna start a prank call show. Gonna be the new Jerky Boys.
You think? This is kind of the first time anybody's complimented me about this sort of thing, you know?
Well, I mean, yeah, the voices are pretty good and all, but I don't think Stephen Hawking-san's going to tell anyone to bite their belly button and die, you know? Why do they all have to be so nasty?
I don't know, everyone always tells me to do something and die.
I was gonna say, that's how they all talk to me.
I've wondered about this for a while now, but I think the girl's foul mouth might be coming from you, Hamane.
My mouth is great. Me?
Let me demonstrate. Well, think about it. Hanging yourself with an udon noodle? It's gotta be at least spaghetti. Biting your belly button? That's all pure kansai.
Well, now that you mention it, maybe a little kansai twang does sneak out every once in a while. When I'm scolding Makina or whatever. Huh? Wait, don't tell me. This is all my fault?
Yes! I'm not sure where else they'd be coming from.
Okay, if that's how you want to play it, then how about all those dirty jokes she's been spitting out right and left lately? Isn't she picking that up from you?
No, that's also you.
Oh, yeah.
I won't deny it. I did spend my junior high days in a school that basically scraped together American bad boys and dropouts, after all. I'll admit to having some difficulty moderating my language.
Hey, Amani, can I have another hunk of bread?
Yeah, that's okay. But we're talking about you here, you know. How about you at least pretend to pay attention?
Herm. Well, what can you do? Maybe the girl is fine, just the way she is.
What?
She's been sucking up various characteristics from the people around her for a long time now. That's almost how, like, humans are. That's how the Makina we
Mirroring?
know
Yeah, that is a thing.
came to be, right? Doesn't seem like such a bad thing when you look at it that way.
Why do you think you and I are so much alike?
No, ho! You're always saying such good stuff, Papa. They were totally right to make you my Papa, for sure.
That's just spoiling her, you know. If you're thinking, I'll just take Makina's side by default, well, that's really not good enough.
I'm not trying to give the girl more approval than she deserves. I'm just saying. I think she might still be undergoing the process of osmosis.
Jones?
Not smooth.
I'd appreciate it if you could explain this in a way I can understand.
It's not like I'm positive myself, but I have the feeling Makina's still an impressionable chick. In other words, she's absorbing the coping mechanisms and life strategies of those around her, studying the world so she can figure out how to survive in it. It's a little easier to grasp.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but...
Whee! I don't know the details,
She's just running around with her arms out in the background.
but it seems like the girl was hospitalized for a pretty long time, right?
Yeah, that's right. Wait, did you read my phone? I was in the hospital for what, maybe 6 years?
So what I'm thinking is spending her formative years in that totally isolated little society made her what she is right now.
I mean, yeah, 6 years in any place will definitely shape your life in some way.
Yeah, usually. How long have we been doing this channel?
8 years.
Okay.
Well, this channel, couple weeks.
Shut up.
In that case, instead of arguing back and forth about how to teach her, wouldn't it be more natural to get her out into the real world? I think the girl needs to be exposed to a wider range of people. What are your thoughts, Amane?
Well, sure, I can understand that's probably best in theory, you know, but we're talking about Makina here. Wouldn't that, like, cause her to be really confused about who to mirror?
Right, yeah. Well, is Amane the only one that goes into town?
I mean,
Like, they
gone.
don't completely isolate themselves.
No, we ran into Sachi in town before, like during
Yeah,
the
well,
choices
I mean,
and
that's
stuff, so.
someone from the school. But yeah, I mean, they go into a town with people.
Yeah, there was like a festival thing with the ducks.
Yeah.
Or the turtle scooping.
Right. Weren't you just scolding me about being overprotective? If you're thinking I'll just take care of Makina, that's really not good enough.
Just please keep me in this route.
Yeah.
You need breaks every once in a while. Okay, so, that said, what do you specifically want her to do?
Well, I think it's my job as Makina's father to come up with the details. At the moment, all I have to is a vague plan to start off by helping her obtain some new skills, one by one.
Yeah, I mean, that's what every teenage girl wants. They want their father to come up with details of their life.
So that's why you suddenly started this whole bicycle thing.
There were some other circumstances involved, but yeah, more or less. Just gonna have to outrun a gorilla someday. We're just gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. And if she doesn't, then she's gonna end up getting really into gliders for some reason.
You're kind of talking like taking the papa role pretty seriously, aren't you?
Well, I think the ideal father is a man who views giving his children the knowledge they need to survive as his most important job.
Plus, it was like a lot of money.
Yeah, this chick is loaded. In other words, I want to do for Makina what my master did for me. I won't deny that I'm a little worried about sending Makina out into the real world as she is right now. Even so, I think the girl's come a long way from when she'd run away at the first sight of me.
Yeah, she had a different voice.
Mm-hmm.
I was running away from a bug.
Oh, that's true.
Or I think she had the bug. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. There was a bug involved. That was like 4 years ago.
Yes, interacting with society will mean increased risk of encountering danger of malice, but that doesn't mean we can let her stay shut up in the school forever.
Why not?
Therefore, even if it requires somewhat strict methods, I want to strengthen her mind until she can cope with any crisis, polish her skills until she can deal with anything that comes her way. There are limits to what I can teach her, of course. If the girl decides to become a fighter pilot or submarine captain, I won't be much good. But at the very least, I'm confident I can teach her the skills necessary to survive in the jungle for 2 weeks with a bare minimum of equipment.
Speaking of gorillas.
I want to be a hentai artist.
Actually, I could probably help with that. I have a lot of reference material in my room.
Yeah, I guess that sort of knowledge can be pretty important.
That's a surprise. I was expecting you to butt in with, what's the point of learning that stuff in modern Japan, or something of that at this point.
You know, you can't sit there and plan out any kind of argument, and then when it doesn't go your way, just panic. That's not how conversations work.
Well, I have a C in social etiquette. What do you expect from me?
But you know, there's some pretty basic skills that definitely come in handy in the worst case scenario, right? Knowing some of that stuff can't hurt.
I didn't expect you to agree, but all right.
Especially since I told you not to.
Do we have to have a little aside again?
Right? Sidebar.
For the time being, I'll teach her to ride a bike, increasing her range of mobility and giving her the chance to get out into the world on her own initiative. We'll see where it goes from there. No!
Look, Ho doesn't cut it. We're discussing your future here, okay? Yuji's been saying some impressive stuff, so you know... Were you even listening?
What? Sorry, I got so caught up in this fine loaf that I stopped paying attention.
Been there.
What's the deal?
Honestly, you really love your bread, don't you?
It's delicious and it doesn't make you fat. Not to brag, but as long as I've got a little bread for flavoring, I can gobble down 3 bowls of rice.
I'm gonna name my friend.
Just what are you mixing into this girl's bread?
Is he just like really making sure to hammer home that they're just friends?
Nothing. I'm telling you, it's normal. I mean, the stuff I usually get just comes from a bakery in town.
Herm! This bread really is pretty damn good, though. Is it from Red Lobster?
Yeah, I know,
Oh
right?
god, they sell that. You can make those yourself now. I love it.
From what I heard, the owner's trained in France and Germany, and he gets up at 3 in the morning every day to start baking.
I'm actually having those tomorrow.
Nice.
Andrea wanted fish, so she got salmon. So she's like, okay, I could get like biscuits or something. I was like, no, get the Red Lobster ones.
Yeah.
I can make those.
I've hardly ever had them because I don't like seafood, so...
Oh my god, they're good with anything though.
But I have bought them before, though. The
Yeah.
ones that you can make yourself.
Yeah, well, because they have the ones that are frozen and pre-made, and then you just melt the butter on them. It has like the garlic butter to put on
Yeah.
it. But they also have, in the non-frozen section, you can buy the kit to make the dough.
Yes, that's what I get.
Yeah,
Or have
those
gotten.
are way better.
I read this.
You did? Good, okay. Sorry, I got distracted by cheddar biscuits. Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Everything you see on the shelves was baked with love and care in a stone oven that very day. Of course, it's gonna be good.
Didn't know there were any bakers that passionate left in this day and age.
A good bakery's the jewel in any city's crown, you know? Japanese people just don't get what a blessing it is having a store with great bread in the neighborhood.
Here comes the baker with his tray.
You're pretty passionate yourself.
I don't know any of the words of that song.
Well, it's just a small bakery in front of the station. But I guess the owner is the landlord's second son. Supposedly he started it up as a hobby. Must to make money and more for the enjoyment of baking bread.
See, if you're
So it's a front for the mafia.
prioritizing profit, then mechanizing the process is only logical these days. But if you're in it mainly as a hobby, I guess this quality is understandable.
Who would try to make profit from a hobby like that? I mean, come on.
It's not like I was always a bread freak myself, you know? Heck, every time they served us them soggy sandwiches in the hospital, I'd be like, oh, bleh. But you know what? When I first tried the bread from this store, it hit me like a friggin' thunderbolt. Says to myself, ah, so this is what bread really tastes like. Mwah. Since then, I've been a total baked goods addict. It's like, if this bread suddenly stopped flowing, what would I do with myself? I don't even want to think about a life without it.
Even as she's speaking, Makina snaps up huge bites of a hefty sandwich. Lettuce, tomato, onions, and salami. Swiss cheese packed inside a thick baguette.
I would be down for that other than the onions.
Sounds good.
I feel like onions
I'll
on
take-
a cold sandwich just
Ooh.
don't do it for me.
Yeah, I like it. I'll take your onions and you can have my tomato.
Deal. Fucking deal. I can't believe you don't like tomato. That's insane to me.
Honestly, the girl's chomping away so blissfully that it's kind of charming in a way. If she enjoys bread this much, maybe she should be working at a bakery. It would be a rewarding experience. Herm! In that case, Makina, why not try making bread yourself?
That's such a weird idea. It's like, I love bread. Let's turn it into work. To where I hate it.
What?
You can't live without that bread. In other words, you're completely dependent on a single bakery.
Isn't there like a whole phrase about not knowing where the sausage is made or how sausage is made or something?
Yeah. Yes. In this economically turbulent world of ours, that place might go under just like that. Instead of living your life waiting fearfully for that day, why not acquire the skills to produce bread with your own two hands?
Oh, Sorry.
Bake bread? Myself?
Well, they do say home bread makers are getting pretty darn good these days. I'd actually been thinking about getting one myself at some point.
No, okay, I'll just have you do it for me.
No, that's not what I meant. Why not take things a little further and try for a part-time job at this bakery she loves so much?
A part-time job? Me? At the bakery? Do they have cat-maid outfits?
Conveniently enough, we're
They
just
do now.
starting summer vacation tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
It's still the same day?
It might be a good experience and a chance to get your feet wet in the working world.
No, my feet gotta get wet. Nope, I'm out.
That sounds unhealthy for the bread.
Huh, but we're talking about Makina here. Working for money isn't a game, you know.
Tell me, Makina. What's your work experience to date?
Tell me, Makina, what's your working... Yeah, that doesn't make any sense any way you try to say it.
I played Stardew Valley.
Perfect.
None.
This is as good a time as any to start. How about giving it a try?
Hold on. Are you rushing things a little? Shouldn't we, ease her into this? For one thing, I don't know if Makina even knows how to handle money.
I just throw it in the air and dance in it.
I give it all to him.
Very true. The girl does seem to have a pretty warped perspective when it comes to financial matters. But that's all the more reason. Nothing teaches you the value of a dollar like earning it through the sweat of your own brow.
Can't I just, swipe the plastic thing in front of it and get whatever I want?
Yeah, it's like infinite.
Wait, are you seriously gonna do this?
Well, that's up to her to decide. What do you think, Makina? Interested in learning how to make bread yourself?
Are we talking about the food or money?
Yeah!
Hold on. Makina, did you really think this through?
Nope.
Come on, think about it, Amity. Baking my own bread, it's like a beautiful dream come true.
Plus, then I can afford that hospital visit to deal with this blood coming out of my ears.
Well, maybe so, but...
Whenever I get a hankering, I can just bake myself whatever kind of bread I want. As much as I want. No longer a slave to the bakery. They can just pay me in bread. And what's more, this could present an ideal chance to unleash the double melon bun that torments my dreams onto an unexpected world, whipping up an enormous sensation with my very own hands.
Double melon bun?
I've been given an exorbitant amount of power.
What was it again? Something about the winds of change blowing through the ossified melon bun world? The birth of a terrible infant?
Infant terrible, if you please.
Right. Something like that. So in conclusion, in the end, if you work part-time at the bakery, you can make anything you please as long as it's bread.
Yeah, also, you have to make stuff that the bakery sells.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could, on the side...
I'm gonna eat half their profits.
Yeah. It's like you get a job at McDonald's and you're just like, I think I'm gonna start making Salisbury steaks. Wait, what?
Be it double melon buns or double buns of steel.
No, it's like a dream.
Okay, hold on. I understand the melon bun thing, I guess, but I think buns of steel are something else entirely. And not to rain on the parade, but what makes you think they're gonna be conveniently looking to hire someone right now?
It sounds like you can't have one without the other. Or you can only have one, is what I meant.
Yeah.
In regards to that little detail, Amine, how about you pay them a visit? Question. I'm sure even a hard-assed bread artisan will yield a jiggling tit or two before.
I gotta become a baker.
Excuse me? Are you under the impression I jiggle my tits on command?
I mean, I feel like that's pretty involuntary when they're that size.
Well, I mean, you gotta wear like a very specific bra, otherwise they do it and it hurts. Got another thing coming, you bum. Well, whatever, I guess I'm on board. I'll stop by this evening on my shopping trip or whatever to see if I can convince them for you.
I'll do it without jiggling my tits. I'll show you.
Okay, I had to jiggle my tits. A lot.
Nice! I'm gonna do this thing. I'll be dominating the world from the shadows to the power of the double melon buns in no time.
I have no idea what you just said.
I don't either. You read it. I didn't follow it at all.
But this double melon bun sounds like it has some impressive potential. And so, That same evening,
Dear God.
despite her protestations, Amane sauntered into the bakery in ridiculous, revealing casual clothes.
You don't need to see it, though.
Excessive chest flabs swinging pendulously from side to side with every step.
That makes it sound really sexy. Oh, baby, your chest flab.
Right? Swinging pendulously. Did she really have to go through that to, like, ask for an application? Or?
I mean...
And in her very best sugary sweet tone asked, "Hey, are you hiring part-timers or anything?"
I really use the job.
Makina standing behind her. You're like, yes, we are. Great, I have someone just for you.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, god damn it.
In no time at all, she proceeded to smoothly convince the owner, and Makina attended her first job without so much as an interview. Attained, I mean. The only remaining difficulty is whether the school administration will provide its approval. I mean, I probably should have asked the principal.
But it's summer.
Oh, right. I could call her, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, why does it matter? It's summer. I
Yeah.
mean, they live on campus.
Makina's taken this task into her own hands, putting her case to our highest authority. I'm sitting in mainly as a spectator. Understandably a little anxious about the prospect of letting this particular animal go free range, the principal responds with guarded rejection.
I do understand your desire to gain experience in the real world here, Susan. But right now, well, perhaps it's more important to focus on gradually, steadily learning what you'll need out there.
No, are you really going to crush my dreams that I've had for the past 5 minutes? Although she's choosing her words carefully, it's pretty clear that Chizuru has some serious reservations about letting a potential embarrassment like Makina wander out into the world. Her mild approval holds steady. However, once lit, the flames of ambition, Re-Zero, Double Melon Bun World Conquest, prove difficult to extinguish.
Is that the sequel?
Sure. That's what I call Rem. Her face twitching with rage, Makina bellows, "Damn the torpedoes, Principal Tachibana!" and slams her stubby little hands onto the desk with a vigorous thwack. The kid does a pretty decent Marine Admiral.
Well, she's perfect at...
Impressions?
Impressions,
Yeah, so that
yeah.
means she knows a Marine Admiral.
She probably watched Hunt for Red October. She could probably do a perfect Sean Connery.
But it's the next line out of her mouth that really makes me go pale. "We're never gonna get anywhere with that cowardly attitude. This is exactly why you're still a friggin' virgin at your age." The principal doesn't elaborate on this snappy retort. Not only has she been struck speechless, she seems to have forgotten how to breathe. I quickly ride in to the rescue and take her
fix
virginity.
that. Yeah.
Don't be ridiculous, Makina. Principal Tachibana's not a kid, you know. She obviously threw away her virginity ages ago.
Yeah, I'm sure some random dude who she thought was the one showed up with a foreski of those wine coolers. And...
I read your files, I know. The instant I speak, Chizuru swings her head to face me so vigorously I can hear the sound of her hair cutting through the air. After flapping her mouth like a goldfish for a while, she draws a deep breath and unleashes a truly massive sigh.
I understand. I'll give you my permission.
Quite the sudden change of heart. Shoulders drooping like a high school baseball player who's just lost their final shot at Koshin. The principal retrieves a sheet of paper from her desk.
Write your name on this document. Have your guardian stamp it here.
The gist of it seems to be that the Academy assumes absolutely no responsibility whatsoever, and so on and so forth. Ignoring the legalistic obfuscations, the real message is, if you have to work part-time, don't cause us any trouble. Here you go, Papa, sign it! As for the matter of the guardian, who's supposed to give their approval, that would of course be Makina's parents. But her father's gone, and her mother's apparently overseas, so that's hardly a realistic option either. In that case, as her father, however provisionary, I'm probably the most qualified to affix my mark in their place.
That sounds legal.
I stamp a thumbprint next to the name Irisu Makina, and proceed to submit the document. And then they went silent. Whoa!
Oh, I exist now. Wait, seriously? Makina got a part-time job?
An unusually tidy-looking Michiru stares up at me wide-eyed, patting her hair with a towel, presumably fresh out of the bath.
What the heck? Is she that hard up for money?
Money isn't the issue. Trust me. Just getting a little hands-on experience in the adult world.
The adult world, is it?
Michiru frowns dubiously. Fundamentally, students using phrases like experience in the adult world tend to be dressing up somewhat less innocent motives. Accordingly, it's probably difficult to take the words at face value.
Personally, I think it's an excellent idea. Because Maki-chan's safe inside the school, she's able to be the innocent, free-spirited individual we all know. But while it may be easy to forget, her fear of strangers is well outside the pale of normality. Stepping out into society through a part-time job would doubtless be a valuable experience. But it's the Makina we're talking about here, you know. Can she really handle the job?
In response to Michiru's admittedly somewhat reasonable question, Sachi shakes her head softly.
I'm not certain that whether she can or can't is very important right now. For the moment, I believe demonstrating the will to overcome her weakness is what really matters.
Exactly right. You've got a good head on your shoulders, Sachi.
It would be better if it had pats. You're too kind. Just the sort of line I'd expect from a teacher's pet, but talk is cheap, right? What do you mean by that exactly?
How much does it cost?
Anybody can mouth the words to show off their will to improve, but unless you get results, what's the point?
Oh, are you some kind of self-help expert now?
But of course, I constantly make every effort to better myself. Once I set my mind to something, I don't give up easily, you know.
Well, you're good at mouthing words to that effect, anyway.
I'll mouth you. Wait a second. What the heck? You don't believe me?
Look, when push comes to shove, you always have Sachi bail you out, right? Whenever anything happens, it's Sachi, Sachi.
That's just my catchphrase.
Hell, you were screaming for her in the middle of the night just the other day.
Yeah, I was screaming for her. She wasn't there. That was just, come on. We didn't have any homework. There was some freaking cockroach in my room, and Sachi's in charge of managing the dorm, right? So cockroach management is totally her job.
You're just spouting gibberish now. At this rate, you're going to end up unable to tie your own shoes without Sachi around.
My fanny pack gets in the way.
I wear sandals.
That's not... They're Crocs.
Well, I don't regard it as a nuisance. It's not a bad feeling to have people who rely on me.
Stop spoiling the girl. You're turning her into a useless lump.
It's not like I want to be spoiled or anything. Sachi wouldn't have enough to do if I didn't give her orders, right? Yeah, I'm giving Sachi work for her sake, not mine.
What the hell are you saying? I mean, yeah, some capitalist hiring a new employee does invigorate the economy, but it's not like you're paying the girl an appropriate wage for her labors.
Don't throw your fancy words at me. I don't get it.
What I said, or...
Anything.
Behold, Sachi. The road was paved with good intentions, but this is where it brought you.
Well, please don't blame Michiru-sama. As you say, there's much I need to reconsider as well.
You really are a good girl.
Oh my god, say that slower.
Aren't you? Think that warrants some praise? Get over here, you little scamp.
Just say this again.
I reach out and rub Sachi's head roughly, working my fingers around her frilly hairband.
Oh.
I just had an orgasm.
What the heck is this? You're acting like some kind of problem child or something.
Well, if the shoe fits.
I don't know, because I don't ever put them on.
They're Crocs.
Fine, I get it. You want me to stop relying on Sachi so much, right? If I overcome my weaknesses, I'll be a good girl too, right? I get the picture. I'll tell you what I can do. Just you wait and see. Now give me preemptive head pats.
Easy enough to mouth the words. The instant you actually run into trouble, you'll be clinging to Sachi again in no time.
She's soft and smells good. That's so not true. Okay, Sachi, listen up. Next time I try to run away from something I hate, don't you dare let me. No more spoiling.
Are you quite certain?
So certain. Understood? Repeat your orders.
Yes. I, Komine Sachi, do solemnly swear not to spoil Michiru-sama.
There we are. Well done. Okay then, my throat dries from shouting. Go fetch me something to drink.
Fuck, you're
Yes, right away.
You people just don't get it, do you?
You people? Huh? Get what?
No, just forget it. This is a side story that I would only care about in one of your routes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna exist after this.
Michiru needs Sachi, and Sachi needs Michiru. At least that's the sense I get when I watch the two of them like this. This relationship seems to have found its own delicate balance. Trying to crudely rearrange it this late in the game would be unreasonable.
Yeah, it's not something you would ever do.
But when you look at it that way, maybe sending Makina out into the working world was a little hasty of me after all.
I've made a terrible mistake.
I tend to do things and then second guess myself,
But then it all ends up working out perfectly.
but then immediately think I'm right the next time I say something.
Yes, of course. Because, I mean, he's perfect in every way. How could he be wrong?
Well, it sure seems crazy reckless to me, but it's not like she can just stay locked up inside the school forever, right? In fact, Amina used to try pulling Makina around by the hand when she went shopping or whatever, you know, to try and get her a little more comfortable in the outside world.
But that's just...
Yeah, that's just gonna turn her into someone who won't go outside unless someone pulls her there, right? Amina thought the same thing. Racked her brains trying to find something else she could do. So yeah, I'm pretty nervous about the whole part-time job idea, but sometimes the risk-free approach just doesn't cut it, you know?
Oh. So even you can make a coherent point every once in a while.
One of us does.
What?
What? Do you think I'm a total idiot or what?
What, you're not?
Okay, maybe I can't deny it too strongly, but just for future reference, the way you say stuff like that right to people's faces is not gonna win you many friends.
I don't know. I have a C in social etiquette.
I do apologize for the wait, Michiru Salma.
I don't do it on purpose. Our conversation is interrupted by a prompt beverage delivery. Smiling brightly, Sachi places a glass containing cloudy liquid and ice on the table in front of Michiru with a solid thunk.
Now that is a tasty beverage.
It's ya Bailey's. Michiru favors her servant with a lordly nod and magnanimous well done, and then immediately reaches out for the tumbler.
Well, anyway, pursuing personal growth is certainly a splendid thing, but I'd appreciate it if you could avoid making nuisances of yourselves.
Even as she speaks, Michiru brings the drink Sachi provided to her lips and gulps down a mighty swig.
Oh, God.
An instant later, Michiru's eyes jerk open wide, and then, still clutching the glass in one white-knuckled hand, she crumbles to the floor, knees trembling against the ground. She begins to yelp like a distressed weasel.
Michiru-sama, what seems to be the matter? What is this?
Vodka.
What? U.S. It's 100% purity powderized citric acid, diluted in freshly squeezed lemon juice. What of it? Excuse me? You know I can't deal with sour stuff, right? Did you do this on purpose? Indeed. I thought I might encourage you to overcome one of your weaknesses, thereby enriching your life. If people could get rich by drinking sour stuff, we'd have world peace in 5 minutes flat. I do apologize, but I don't have the slightest idea what you're trying to say. Why not? Rather than continuing with this incomprehensible prattle, kindly finish your drink. And where exactly do you think you're going, Michiru-sama?
Jesus.
Oh, goodness.
Ah, no!
Nimbly shifting course, Sachi pulls Michiru's legs out from under her as she scrambles desperately to escape. And then, with an elegant flutter of her long skirt, the maid plunks herself down on her wriggling mistress's stomach.
I'm gonna go get my camera.
Michiru-sama, you still have quite a lot left to drink. Don't want it anymore. I'll give the rest to you. You drink it. I'm afraid I can't do that. You see, I was recently ordered to prevent you from running from your weaknesses. And therefore, I, Komune Sachi, shall bring the full blunt of my skill to bear on this mission. Please open your mouth.
Still straddling Michiru, Sachi grabs hold of her chin, and in a reasonable facsimile of a KGB agent forcing a captive to drink huge amounts of water to wash away the traces of a truth serum, she violently presses the glass to her mouth.
Let's drink. God, sour! My eyes! My eyes are twitching! So sour! It is delicious, isn't it? Come now, swallow it all down like a good girl. Don't leave one drop. Yes, that's the way. Drink while snuffling like a pig at its trough. I can't swallow all this. Have mercy. Are you trying to be cute now? Playing the unintentionally erotic card? Some tsundere you are. Yeah! Don't splash on my face! I just got out of the bath! You know, when I see Michiru-sama suffering like this, a little shiver runs down my spine. I wonder why. It's a super sadist! By nature,
This is amusing.
by nature, I'm a masochist. But as you seem to want me to play the sadistic role, I took it upon myself to do so. When called upon, I possess the potential to remake myself to suit whatever proclivities are demanded. This is the essence of Kamine Sachi, renowned for a 100% customer satisfaction record. The #1 bestseller mail order bride. Made. Sorry, my mind was somewhere else. You're not even making sense anymore. Get a quote online today. Listen, please, just stop forcing me.
But wait, there's more!
Yeah.
What can I say? You two really get along, don't you?
What a couple of cards.
Excuse me. Hello, Yuji. Don't just sit there going ha 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 ha. Stop chortling and help me. Let's get the super sadist stuff made off of me.
Sorry, what? Didn't quite catch that. My hearing really seems to be going these days.
Screw you. Michiru-sama, your pronunciation is growing rather sloppy. Because you keep pulling it down. I'm here too.
I was wondering what all that racket was about. I had to stop masturbating and get down here. What on earth are you people doing?
God, I wasn't talking for so long, and now I had to do all that.
Help me.
Who is this Jubiko supposed to be?
Not now. Hurry up and help me. Please help me.
Oh, heavens. Komine-san,
Yes? What can I do for you?
you're making an utter mess. What do you expect to clean the floor? Who do you?
I expect that I will.
Who do? Huh. Come to think of it, you probably will. Carry on then.
You traitor!
All right. Don't burst a blood vessel. Hey, Sachi,
Yes, boss?
why don't you let the girl off the hook? Michiru's learned her lesson. I'm sure she'll drink the rest of it on her own. Right, Michiru?
Yeah, sure. I'll drink the stupid thing. That's what you want, right? I misspoke. Please allow me to drink it. I'll drain every drop. Wink. I'll drink until my belly's bulging. Wink, wink. I see. A very admirable state of mind indeed.
Why are you doing that?
Ugh, what a nightmare.
How did it come to this in the first place? Would anyone like to explain?
No,
Good, I don't care.
because you never show up until the end. You're like the period of every event.
Good question, but never the exclamation mark.
No, of course not. You're the ellipsis.
Well, we started off talking about overcoming weaknesses, but provide a brief summary of the situation, beginning with Makina's decision to take the part-time job.
Irisu-san working at a bakery, eh?
Well, she's basically just helping out a little around the store during break. But I was hoping a little interaction with people outside the school might help the girl get over her shyness. Teach her some common sense.
Overcoming weaknesses is a truly splendid thing. So while we were at it, I thought I might encourage Michiru-sama to overcome the hatred of sourness. The result being the scene you witnessed just now. If you love overcoming weaknesses so much, how about you overcome some of your own? You gotta have a few. Confess. As a matter of fact, I have a great deal of difficulty dealing with Kazami-san.
Me?
Indeed. A pat on the head from you, much less a gentle embrace, could send such intense shivers down my spine as to leave me completely immobilized. You are perhaps my greatest weakness. So, aversion therapy.
I see. I wasn't aware, but I guess that's no excuse. I've been patting your head pretty thoughtlessly, haven't I? Sorry about that.
Not at all. Overcoming your weaknesses is a very important aspect of personal growth. If you notice that I've let my guard down, please feel free to stroke my head any time. Or even if you gotta pin me down to do it. Sachi, that's a dirty trick, you know. I'm sorry, did I request a refill on that citric acid? Wait, did you request a refill on that citric acid infused lemon juice? Did your ears fall off or something? Better go find him.
Can I trouble you for a nice glass of shut the hell up? Not to change the subject, but what are you all doing for summer vacation?
This?
What do you mean, what? I don't know how to answer that.
I mean, I feel like I was pretty obvious at what I was asking.
Just wondering if you were planning on working part-time or heading home or doing this or what have you. Well, I don't particularly have any plans to work, and I don't think I'll be going home either.
Yeah, me too. I'll just be hanging around the dorm, I guess. I also have no particular plans for employment, and returning home isn't exactly an option. It's a whole thing.
I see. Watching a gloomy atmosphere spread uniformly around the room, I wince a little inwardly. Hashtag cringe. Seems like I shouldn't have asked this particular question.
This is why I have that C.
Well, what about you then?
Me? Well, let's see. I don't have a home to go back to, but I guess there's a possibility I'll be called to my part-time job every once in a while.
Janitoring?
That's correct. Oh, right. I'm also planning to visit a grave.
How do you janitor a grave? A grave? Is it?
My master's grave is up in the mountains in Yamanashi. Gets completely overgrown with weeds, unless I clean it up once a year.
Cleaning is my specialty. Shall I help?
It's alright, I want to do it myself. That's sort of what you do when you visit a grave, right?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. That was rather forward of me.
Well, I appreciate the thought.
Appreciate it enough to give me a head pat?
No! Sachin! The bath be open.
Well, I guess so much for that.
Our conversation is interrupted by the arrival of a fresh-faced shrimp with a big brim on her face. Amane follows in her wake. Makina's arm is curled around a hot pink wash basin, containing not only the usual bath towel and soap, but also perhaps the single creepiest-looking mutant of a toy duck I've ever had the displeasure of laying my eyes on.
You're the only girl left, Sachin. Go soak yourself, why don't you?
Oh, yes. Well, then, I'll go in right after I get you your drink, Maki-chan.
That's okay, Sachin. I'll take care of Makina, so go take your bath.
Oh, certainly. Well, then, Kazami-san, I'll try not to take too long.
It's alright, take your time.
Hold on, Sachi. Wait up. I'm gonna go back in with you.
We have a lot to talk about now. I'm not going to try to drown you.
We're totally not gonna kiss either.
With a small bow in my direction, Sachi briskly heads up the stairs towards the bathroom, pursued by a quite literally sour-faced Michiru.
Oh, wait a second. I just remembered we're in an anime. We should have all bathed together and compared boobs.
Yeah, have they done that yet?
I think they did do that, actually.
Yeah, probably. The bath in this dorm has a full 8 faucets and showers. Theoretically speaking, everyone in the dorm could get in at the same time if they wanted to, but instead the residents have developed an underwritten protocol. An unwritten, I mean. Our solitude-loving
Spearmint
performs her ritual ablutions first, so as to minimize the risk of human interaction. Generally, Michiru takes her turn immediately thereafter. As for why Michiru's the second up, it seems she refuses to go after Makina, who has something of a reputation for leaving the bath an utter mess. And once the pseudo-tsundere is done, Amane and Makina take their turn together. Sachi always claims the final slot so that she can perform a little quick cleanup afterward. When I was thrown into the mix, it was generally agreed that I would enter only after all the women had their turns, so as to reduce the potential for awkward mishaps.
Yeah, that would never happen.
The water's really nice today, you know. You should come with us, Papa.
I don't think Chizuru would be too pleased if I pulled a stunt like that.
So, if our principal didn't have any issues with it, you just roll on in?
The bathroom's got 8 separate showers, so I don't see why it'd be a problem.
Well, that's not really the kind of problem I was thinking of. But then again, it'd definitely be a help to have someone to look after Makina while I'm washing myself. You can't let down your guard with this girl. She'll fall asleep in the bath, you know? Kind of dangerous.
I did that 2 times.
I just tie her hair to the faucet.
Not a fact. Guess that would explain why Amane is almost always goes in with her. Well then, I'm going back to my dorm room now.
Are you still here? Yeah, night.
Hey, Papa. Why was everyone standing around out here? What are you talking about? Why is there a bunch of pee on the floor?
Oh, right. We were just discussing our plans for the summer vacation. Amine, you're going to go back to visit your family, right?
Yeah. That's still a little while away, though.
Like
and
one day?
I don't know if it's really going back, since I'm visiting my grandparents on my mom's side.
Amane's grandma lives in Kyoto, you know. She's super sexy and super scary.
Oh, yeah? Gilf?
You've met her?
Yeah, they met last summer. Sort of felt like I couldn't leave Makina alone in the dorm, so I just carted her off to Kyoto with me.
Yeah, she was wearing this crazy expensive looking kimono, you know, puffing away one long pipes. It was like, is she really running a restaurant in here? Looked more like one of them madames, if you know what I mean.
Picture in Cyberpunk.
Excuse me, what do you think my grandma is exactly?
Weird person, I guess.
The woman's strange enough to be called weird by Makina. We must be talking about a pretty damn peculiar individual here.
She is not weird.
But at our very first meeting, she suddenly hit me with a giant setup line, you know?
A setup line?
Well, okay, it's just, when I opened the door and yelled hello, Grandma came out to greet us, but...
Yeah, we're standing there in the doorway, and the lady comes up to me instead of Harmony and goes, "Well, hello there, dear. You sure have come a long way."
And then, she grabs Makina's cheeks and goes, "Lord almighty, hasn't been that long since I saw you, but you sure have shrunk. Guess it was a hot summer this year."
It was hilarious.
I'm not a pickled daikon radish you left hanging out on the porch, damn it. I'm not gonna shrink. These things only get bigger.
Is the woman senile? Sounds like quite the entertaining grandmother.
You wanna come along this year? Wait, again this year, Makina? We can put on our yukata and go to the festivals and everything.
Ooh, sounds good. I wonder if I can still squeeze into the one you guys got me last year.
If you can, it'll be even better. I think it'll be fine. You haven't grown an inch after all.
A yukata, eh? Come to think of it. I guess that'd be a pretty good look for a stumpy little barrel like Makina.
Are you trying to compliment me here?
On the other hand, Amine, would a yukata really work out so well with this distinctly un-Japanese figure? If the girl's not very careful, I've got a feeling she might end up resembling one of those ladies you find wandering around the red light district after dark. If you know what I am saying.
I don't.
Why are you staring at me like that exactly?
Sorry, I picture things in my head very vividly.
I'm picturing you as a prostitute.
Oh,
Fair enough.
okay. I do it all the time.
Well, Amine, my friend, a word of advice from me to you. When wearing a yukata, try not to saunter around the streets with a bottle of lotion in one hand.
I'm just gonna let them stare at him like this for a second.
This is why you're getting a C.
This is why no one fucks you.
I'm with her on this one.
Thanks, because I was totally planning to. Incidentally, I can pretty much tell what you're thinking right now, you jerk. Sometimes my elbows get dry. Anyway, if you're that worried, maybe you should come along this year too, huh? Maybe put you on the fucking corner.
No, I'll pass.
You will if I put some makeup on you. You don't have to hold back, you know. We've got more than enough rooms. And it's a restaurant, so there's no worries about food either. You should totally come if you don't have anything else planned.
The thing is, I'm on call at my part-time job as a janitor. I don't know when they'll want me. And I need a fairly good reason to leave the prefecture. There's paperwork to fill out and everything. Ugh.
Oh, really? That's too bad.
I'll enjoy myself in my own way. Don't worry about it.
It seems like you flew to America that one time really easily.
Or did we actually do that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Was that in her head? Sorry.
Nothing to apologize for. Thanks for inviting me. In the first place, if I did tag along to meet their grandmother of hers, I'm not sure how I could respond to having my cheeks firmly pinched.
Probably ask her when she stopped having her period.
I'd floor a bitch. Let alone, the Lord Almighty, hasn't been that long since I saw you, but you sure have turned into a man. Guess it was a long rainy season this year, gag. She might, well, hit me with, I don't think that would happen.
Yeah, stop planning out all your interactions before they happen. You're just gonna be disappointed.
And even if the company were to give me permission to leave the prefecture, there's a good chance I'd still be summoned when necessary. Worst case scenario, they might end up landing a helicopter on the old lady's lawn.
And then she'd pinch its cheeks and be like, "Oh my God, you turned into a helicopter. It must have been foggy this year."
Fundamentally speaking, enjoying a vacation like anyone else is a privilege not extended to those of us who live with a chain locked firmly around our necks. Even so, my summer begins normally enough.
With a maid straddling a tsundere and making her chug sour water.
I've seen that one. Oh, we're at an episode.
Yeah, okay.
Perfect timing.
Yay!
Yes!
We started in this area, and now we're leaving in this area.
That's right.
We're just always in our head. We're going to be very confused when we come back and load the game. Like, wait, which one do we load? Because it's this?
I know,
or is it this?
It's a big mess now.
Oop, whoa.
You just loaded. What have you done?
I did load. I'm a fool. I'll get us back there. It's fine. The episode's over anyway. Shut up.
Ah!